Robert De Niro just got up in front of a room full of donors in New York City, and he basically said he can't love America anymore. Not, I disagree with the president. Not, I'm worried about the country. He literally said he can't love it because of who won the election. Bad guy, Donald Trump. And my first thought was, okay, this is just another Robert De Niro, progressive liberal Hollywood type, just having a spaz attack. But then I saw the numbers, and these numbers turned his tantrum into something I think we need to really understand, because our youth has been hijacked and now they're carrying this anti-American, unpatriotic attitude into life. And it turns out that there's millions of them, and this data is showing us something that is just mind-blowing. First, let's look at his speech.
The phrase, "we all love our country," stuck in my throat. Because our country isn't so lovable right now. I hate to say it, but loving our country is starting to sound like an abused spouse saying they love their abuser. I can't love a country that's led by a racist, misogynist, xenophobic tyrant. And let me just say it. I can't love the country that's led by Donald Trump.
Folks, this is a huge crowd and a fundraiser in New York City. And again, I'm making the case. We all know that De Niro is a loser. We know that he's lost his mind and he's un-American. But the fact of the matter is that for some reason, it's becoming the popular thing to be unpatriotic and un-American. Just because Donald Trump's in the White House doesn't mean that you have to leap all the way the other way and not like your country. So this unpatriotic attitude, I'm telling you, it's not just with people like De Niro. Now, here's why I'm not just laughing De Niro off. If it was just De Niro, fine. It's a rich guy says rich guy stuff. But it's not only De Niro. It's not even close, folks. Gallup just did a poll and they put this out and it lays the whole thing bare. And once you see this trend line, you can't stop laughing, because this isn't about Donald Trump. This has been building for 25 years in our schools, with our youth, with people that don't live in Hollywood. Let's take a look.
You have to love your country, whether or not you lost the last election. I love America.
Exactly.
And, according to some polling that came out this week, and most Republicans love America. 90% are very proud to be Americans. They're proud of living in this country. Unfortunately, I think Mr. De Niro's comments are pretty indicative of a majority of Democrats who can't seem to find that attitude, which I applaud, inside them, to love your country even though you lost the last election. And, loving America, being a patriot for America, feeling good about America shouldn't be dictated by whether you won or lost. When I hear De Niro,
Exactly.
I hear him saying, I can only love America if we win every election from here on out. That's a rather fascist statement.
I think he was really saying that I don't love an America that doesn't do the things that I think it should be doing. And look, I understand.
So would he think any Republican would do that?
Well, look, I mean, this is why I think.
But just to add a little bit of numbers and data to Scott's numbers. Gallup polling data from 25 years ago says Republicans were 90% proud or extremely proud to be Americans. Democrats were 87%. Today, 25 years later, those numbers remain at 92%, actually up a little bit for Republicans. For Democrats, they're down to 36%. Robert De Niro's views are not out of step with the median Democrat.
That is the problem. The median Democrat and a whole chunk of our youth have lost any ideal of what it's like to be a patriot and to love your country. So real quick, before we keep going, you already know that the legacy media isn't going to tell you the truth about any of this. It's not a conspiracy, it's just their business model. They answer to advertisers and to their corporate bosses. We answer to you. That's the whole reason this channel exists. We're a small independent team with no network behind us. Nobody we have to keep happy. Nobody we owe some softer take to. We're just people who love this country and are willing to say it out loud. But independent media only survives one way. The people who watch it decide that it's worth keeping around. So if you believe that America's worth fighting for and you want a team out here fighting without a corporate leash, hit that join button right below. A few bucks a month keeps us totally independent, keeps us honest, and keeps us America first, no matter who it makes mad. And it's not a donation. That's just you putting your money where the truth is. And it means everything to me and my team. All right, let's get back to the story. So let's put those two clips side by side. Robert De Niro on a stage saying that he's done loving America. And then a poll telling you that 25 years ago, nearly 9 in 10 Democrats were proud to be American. And today, it's barely a third of that. Folks, that is not a bad mood. That is a total collapse of our school system and our youth. And here's where I'm going to push back on my own side just for a second, because the lazy way to go through a story like this is, so the left just hates America. But I don't think that's quite right. I think it's actually way sadder than that. What that number is really showing us is that a whole lot of people got told in school, on the news, everywhere that they turned, that their own country is the villain, that the founding of our country was a crime, and that the patriotic thing to do is to feel ashamed of your country. So you pump that into people long enough, and guess what? They're going to start believing it. That 36% isn't a mob that woke up hating America. It's people who got told slowly, quietly, talked out of loving their own country. And De Niro, he's just the one with the microphone and the Oscar. And here's the part that I just can't get past with De Niro. He's a guy whose entire life is only possible in the country he's up there running down. He was a kid out of New York. He had no money, no connections, and this country, America, turned him into one of the most famous men alive. Gave him a fortune, it gave him a platform, and it lets him stand up and trash us. This whole place that he's on top of the world with because we gave him an opportunity when maybe he didn't deserve it. And that right there, that is freedom. This is America. And that's the whole thing that he's too bitter to even see. And I think that's what got lost in all of this. This country doesn't ask you to pretend it's perfect. Never has been. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to want better. I want better for our country every single day. But this is where the difference is between I love this country and I'm going to fight to make it stronger, and then this other group that says, I want to quit on it because the election didn't go my way. One of those is how you build something that lasts. The other one is just giving up with really good lighting and a Hollywood Oscar in your hand. And what actually worries me more than this poll isn't the politicians or the actors, it's the kids. We have a whole generation that's getting raised to roll their eyes at this country and never once got taught why our country is worth loving in the first place. That should bother every single one of us, the left, the right, every one of us. Because a nation full of people who can't name one reason to love it, well, it doesn't stay a nation very long. America is still worth fighting for. It still is. And there are a lot more of us who believe that than guys like De Niro want you to think. If you're one of them, hit that subscribe button, stick around, and tell me down below, when did loving this country become so controversial? We'll see you in the very next video. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Chris Locke Show for the latest America First news, conservative commentary, and the stories that mainstream media refuses to cover. These two videos right up here, they're going to be next. Pick your favorite. I'll see you over there.